Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Motivation Monday, week 91, episode 15. Nice to speak. How you doing, brother?
Sir, not too bad, not too bad. Feeling good, better than ever.
Man, we're back. You know what I'm saying? Consistency is key. We're here. Another Monday, dropping the gems. And today's topics are going to be very insightful to exactly what's going on in the world and probably in our daily lives right now that can be beneficial to us on the educational aspect. I want to get into it. The topics today is don't count the days, make the days count. We're going to talk about being optimistic while accepting failures and 7 tips to detox your mind and feel more at peace with everything going on right now. I think it's important for us to touch these things and help people understand and get a grasp of like how others may feel and how we can, maneuver with everything going on right now. It's crazy times, but we're still here. We're alive. That's the beautiful part about this.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest blessing is being able to wake up and be able to attack the day. So I'm ready. How's your weekend though?
Better than most weekends. Can't complain. Each week you just take it as it comes. That's how we gotta really analyze life as it is, just a step at a time. Last week episode we talk about motivating ways to go throughout the week. Stay motivated, just one step at a time. Don't worry too much. Don't focus and dwell on things you cannot change. Just a step at a time. Could be better. We always wish for better and more and bigger things, but one step at a time.
And we want to welcome our new Motivation Monday family members that are here. You guys have been spreading the word. Our subscriber count has been going up. We still need to reach it up there, so make sure you tell a friend and tell a friend. But if you come in, make sure you click that like button, subscribe. You can follow us at Motivation Monday Live on Instagram as well too. We have our Facebook page and we got TikTok. Max is speaking videos. You're doing your thing on TikTok. I'm seeing the views jumping up. I'm like, let's go.
I'm trying to keep up. So much platforms, but you gotta attack on all platforms, all dynamics. Don't leave no stone unturned. Whatever it is that you're doing, give it a gift of your full attention. We talked about that last week. Tap in, continue doing what it is that you want to do.
Now, our first topic, I think this one is going to be a real good one because I think you're a master of this right here. From what I've been able to see around you for the last couple of years, I realized, you don't count the days, you make the days count and in a humble way too, I must say. But your resume speaks for itself. But when you hear that saying, don't count the days, make the days count, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Well, most people just try to get through life like a Monday, Tuesday, hoping that hopefully by the end, they get the results that it is that you want, right? But yeah, most Saturday days, don't just count. Today was a good week. What did you do with your week? How was your Monday? Like, productive? Was it productive? You have a productive year, and it's such early in the year. I just want people to have the optimistic view of like to keep things going, regardless how it's turned out so much. So for me, it's kind of like I don't care what day it is. I'm gonna make the most of it, whatever it is. I'm gonna say yesterday was the best day, and then when today presents itself, I'm gonna have the exact same mindset. So it's just I'm not counting the calendar. I'm not saying we're about what 21 days in to 365. What else can I do? No, I'm just trying to make the most out of my days. Whatever day is presented to me, I'm gonna squeeze the orange out of the juice, every little juice I got.
Now that I'm like, we're in our 30s right now, and I can speak to everybody. I always encourage people in their 20s. I said, starting out, figure out things from now, whether it's getting into real estate, saving your money, understanding who you are. Don't let other things be able to persuade you or make you make wrong decisions. But as I'm getting older, I realize, I have conversation with some of our peers, and it may be so easy to say, okay, don't count the days, make the days count. But you feel like you don't even have like your time has passed. You're getting older. What would you say to people who think they're aging, and there's probably things that people are doing around that, it's crazy when you go to school with somebody, you grew up with them, and then boom, people are getting married, people are buying houses, people are just doing great things that you want to do, and maybe that may like affect you from doing what you got to do instead of counting the days but making the days actually count.
I mean, comparison is a thief of joy. We should never compare ourselves to anybody. And age is not a marker for success, right? Other people's success comes in many different ways. I mean, if we consider the children, the YouTube sensation, we all consider failures. We have 5 years old making millions, if that's what we're talking about, numbers game about where we are. So does that mean, are we comparing ourselves to a 5-year-old and say we're not successful? And I mean, it's not an age marker. You just got to do what it is that works best for you. Your success may show in a different way than other people expect it to be. Some people's success maybe just have a healthy family or start off a business. So you should never compare yourself to anybody and how success should look at a certain age. These are all social construct, believe it or not. Our society's telling us that we need to be this by a certain age and we need to have this by a certain age. We are the whole uniqueness. We all breathe and acknowledge that we're all unique individuals and we should take pride in that. So why must we all want the exact same results?
Hmm. And I mean, like, so comparison is a thief of joy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Now, if there's no joy, if you're at an empty place right now, how do you like track back to be like, all right, here I am right now. Because I know 2021, talking to a couple people and even on Twitter and stuff, it was a difficult year for everybody. Went through some adversity. Everybody went through some ups and downs. Now that we're in the new year, it's like 2021 is done. What advice would we let them know? Like, hey, you survived.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's exactly. Most people will say it's okay. It's okay where you are. I'm here to tell you wrong. It's not okay. Not to pull you down, but understand there's more of you. And even that goes for people that think they're just not in a dark place. For people that are also things are going well for them, right? You could always do more than you're doing. You can always be more than what you are. So often people say you're doing great, and you don't really know their circumstance. So be careful when you say you're okay just the way you are. No, you could be much better than the way you are, right? If you're given one, you could give an extra two, right? And if it comes in small increments. So if you're in a dark place, understand that there's more in you. This right here does not define who it is that you are. It's more in you. You're capable of being much more. Like, and this is not just wishy kind of a thing. This is embedded into our genetic codes where we're kind of like adapt upon the environment that we're put in, right? Based on the environment that you're put in, your body starts to genetically start. It's the same thing. Like, I don't want to sound like a medical expert, but same thing with kind of like the mutation adaptation of COVID going on. Like our body adapts, so COVID also in itself adapt. So it's kind of like the same thing. So if you're put in a different circumstance, new genes and new turns start to turn on, right? So if you're in a situation and you feel like it's in a dark place, it's testing your character. It's time for you to evolve, to show yourself in a different light than what you thought you're capable of doing, what you thought you were aware of knowing about yourself.
so I mean, can you think of a time where? Because I like to keep it real realistic, where it's like like, all right, there's a time where you knew you had certain things to done because to do. Sorry, because for instance, let's bring it to real estate.
Yeah.
When you put your down payment down, then you gotta make certain payments right after, and you have no choice but to make those payments.
I like that. The options. You see, when people have choices, deciding to decide is a decision. It keeps people um on the brink of not deciding. Because should I choose one? Because we start to think, and then at the same time, when we do make a choice, we start to have a different perspective on it, thinking the choice that we made is correct. But the fastest way to find out if something works is to do it, right? So I have been through that experience. I mean, the first time coming to Ghana, making that decision, going understanding, like put myself in the fire, adapt or perish, right? So I've been through that moment, not just with real estate, but also with school, and even also with motivation Monday or like the gems. Like it's just kind of like putting myself in an environment I'm unfamiliar with, right? But doing all the necessary things that I need to do to make sure that I'm involving, that it's becoming easier and easier. And you guys could clearly tell, go back from this episode, even last week episode, is that you say he's getting better and it's flowing more and he's not so forgetful and things like that happen. We're all humans. I want everybody to understand that.
Hmm. And I mean, like, it's crazy. Like, when I think about this year, I'm like, thank God we're gonna have a full year where we'll be doing, where our videos will be up on YouTube and streaming platforms. And I just remember the days when we were just trying to get started, and we are like,
Yes,
yo, we gotta
sir.
do it. And now we're here. Like,
Yep.
we've been able to take it to the next level, but there's more that's gonna come out of it. Like the ceiling never, like, you never just hit the ceiling.
I
Just
see
more
the
and more.
effect. Yeah, there's more. There's more. Even if there is a ceiling, you gotta break through it, right? Go to the next floor, right? So if you're the floor and you touch the ceiling, go to the next floor. There's always a higher floor. There's always bigger and better things. That's why I keep saying you're not good the way you are. I'm not trying to be harsh, but there's more in you.
Hmm.
Right? I want people to understand that. Don't get it confused by me saying no matter what you have, it's not good enough. When I'm telling you there's more in you, you may believe this is your very best and this is the mindset of being ungrateful and chasing. This is not about materialistic items. This is if you're a father, if you're a girlfriend, a husband, if whatever it is in your medical field, whatever it is that you're doing, you're capable of doing more. If you're willing to make that sacrifice and gain an additional knowledge and be disciplined about it.
And I mean, it's not easy. Everybody's story is different. Everybody's upbringing was different, and um, it's crazy. You know, there's people who've done it without parents in their life,
Yep.
people who lost their parents, people who've had parents that have been supportive. So like when you usually hear people talk about, oh, my upbringing wasn't this, or my parents did this to me, so you gotta. Everybody's gone through their own scenarios.
Adversity builds character. Believe it or not, most successful people's story starts from hardship, right? Is you be appreciative of the finer things in life when you came from a place that you didn't have. Believe it or not, most successful people come from hardship. And what is your form of hardship may be different from somebody else, but most people talk about their lack of. And amazingly, I remember listening to Bill Gates the other day, and they were talking comparing him to his daughter at the age of 21, and he mentioned something about going to a private school and not being well off than the other student in the school. Right, and it's ironic because some people like you go to private school, you're very well off, but it's perspective, right? We
Mm.
must be careful how we cast ourselves and how we cast our own experience and situation to others. Like to somebody on the outside going to public school, like you're in a private school, what are you talking about? Not
Hmm.
privilege. But to him, he's in a private school with other students, but he's speaking from a place like they're well off, parents are able to purchase and indulge in whatever it is that they want. But to his family, it could have been the sacrifice they had to make for him. So just let's be careful what adversity means to everybody else compared to ourselves.
And it's one of those things where I always I talk about, like, we're setting up our future and stuff for whether you have kids right now, or for us, like, we plan to have kids later on
Yeah.
in the future. So these, like, these days, these decisions that we make are so important, like, in the long run. It's like,
Yep.
think about it. 2021 kind of went like this.
The blimp.
And guess what?
The last 2 years went in the
2022,
blimp.
just what just about saying, and it's not gonna stop. It's gonna keep going.
Hmm.
And as things change, and, like, it's so funny. Somebody the other day had to pay me something, and then they were like, "Yo, I'll you have two options. I'll pay you in cash or pay you in crypto." And I was like, "Holy, this is really what it's coming down to right now." And
Hmm.
it's like I'm at a point where, like, I'm understanding what's happening in the world, but you got to do your research as well too. Don't just, all these investors will always give you advice, like, just because the world is doing all of this doesn't mean you got to do it. And if you're gonna do it, make sure you do your own research.
Exactly. That's what we always talk about. Be a student, don't be a follower. Make sure what you do is a product of your own conclusion. Right? You cannot just take somebody's information. That includes our platform. Me saying this. Don't just take my word. Don't just take Ebone's word. Don't say this was said on Motivation Monday, so it's accurate as a fact. Right? This is experience. Mostly talked about experience and just general knowledge and maybe additional reading from other people has passed down in our perspective. And our perspective may be different from everybody else's perspective. So don't be a follower, be a student, do your additional homework, speak to other people. We encourage you guys to listen to other platforms, because you may never, not you may never, yeah, you will never have the lifestyle that Ebone have, or you won't have the lifestyle that I have. Like, understand, even if you do the exact same thing as us, like, we're still different people, right? You don't have access to the people that I do. It's just so many circumstances, right? So many factors that can play a role into that. So never just take anybody's uh, words as gold and run with it.
And the beauty of life is we're all different. We're all unique.
Yeah,
We're all unique. We're all our own. We're all our own superheroes, like we always talk about.
yeah.
So it's very important for us to think like that. And we always talk about speaking positive, and this is why, like, with affirmations, just making sure you stick to the script or stick to your plan, or even if things don't go as well, you have an idea of what you want out of life. And that's why, we always bring special guests from time to time, so that you're not just hearing us from us, you get to hear from other
Yeah.
people as well. As Black History Month comes up, I'm gonna try to have some great people, great guests come through as well, so we can hear from their stories and then continue to pass on the baton to greatness, because we're all we got, man.
And as you said, like just hearing from other people, but it's usually there's sorry, usually there's a underlying thing for all factors of success, people being disciplined, making that sacrifice, or some those things don't change, and that's what we want to promote. Like whatever it is, have those core values, those foundations, right? Stay committed to what it is that you're doing, be disciplined about it, get that additional information. And with the guests that we do have, you're gonna often find this is the exact same similarity and other successful people in your life. You're gonna find like this is kind of like the exact same way. It may show differently how to present their way of discipline and sacrifice. But you'll see it will be going back to the deep root foundation of these things.
And if you're just joining us for the first time, maybe watching this YouTube or hearing us on Spotify or Apple or any platform, feel free to go through our Motivation Monday YouTube to go through our page and see some of the special guests that we've had come through. And you'll be able to get some insights. We've had some amazing women, amazing men who are doing great things in the community, even down to young kids come through and share their experience that we've had. And that just shows you, like, we talked to a 6-year-old who's working at Kalani, then we've been able to talk to
Shout out Ian.
you know what I mean? We talked to other guys who have clothing brands, and it's so great to hear from other people. And like you said, no need to compare yourself to anybody. One person you need to focus on is you. You gotta look in that mirror and understand
That's
that.
exactly it.
That's
The only person you
can be
compare
better.
yourself to is yourself. Who you were yesterday and who you are today. Are you better? Are you a better version of yourself? That's the only comparison we should do in life. Don't worry about the people behind you and you're doing better than them, or the people in front of you that you have less than them. It's all about who you were yesterday. And if you're better, right? And if you're better, and the thing about anything going in a positive direction, doesn't people think often things are like this, like it just goes on a scale, but the process of getting better is kind of like, and then you go to the next level and
And
you come down and eventually that's how it is. So that's hardship, right? So when you go down, that's hardship. Understand that that must happen for you to grow, so you bounce back, right? That's the only way. So I mean, starting off the new year, kind of like the same things. Like you might be having a bad month so far, but you're gonna have a better February than you did last year. Like, same kind of so be careful. The only person you should be comparing yourself to is who you were yesterday.
And with becoming 1% better comes with a routine, I believe.
Yeah,
You gotta have a routine.
yeah.
How important is it for you to master your routine and understand what your routine is, and as well with other people that you are affiliated to, whether it's your work life, relationship, all those people understand that this is my routine, and like, you stick to the script.
You have to know. You have to know what it is that you're doing, right? What it is that you're giving your attention to, so you can start adding to it. How could I add to this? How could I become more valuable? In essence, like so, it's like it's it's focusing on the little things. So 1% is not much. It's focusing on the little things, right? If it's how you speak, if it's how you shake hands, right? This is improving, like, and it could be a feedback. Like we have this thing where uh, getting positive feedback breed more confidence into us to continue doing what it is that we want. So it's the little things. Hey, I see what you did there, right? And it could be it's not the overall achieving goal, but it's the little things. So it's like it's the 1%. It's like it's the gym, and maybe you cannot do a plate. Adding that 2.5% is like somebody be like, no use to doing that. What's the point? It's 5 pounds heavier than what it is that you're lifting the week before. The little improvements, if you keep adding 2.5% each day, eventually you get to that being able to uh, work out with the full massive plate that you plan to. So that's what it's all really about.
And even talking about being able to hear positive feedback, be open-minded to constructive criticism.
Yeah, yeah. Not everything is an attack, especially coming from the right people. But be careful, like we talked about in so many shows, other episodes, when we talk about people who give criticism, is that are they just giving it to put us down, or are they giving us a possible solution? Right? Be careful. People are easy to point the finger and tell you all the things that you're doing wrong, but not really kind of help you through it. Not so much as do it for you, but maybe see their point of view of why they say this is wrong. So let's keep an eye out for those kind of people.
So that's what we're talking about when it comes to don't count the days, make the day count. And I encourage everybody, man. I preach it all the time, and I always got to remind it. Tomorrow is not promised. I'm telling you, like,
Yeah.
there's so many people we've lost in the couple of years where it's like, me and my friend were talking about, he lost his dad right just before the new year, and it's like, yo, it's crazy. Like, he now understands he always wanted to be the man of the house, but now the torch has really been passed, and until you get into a situation where you're like, you have no choice,
You never know what you're capable of.
you know what I mean? So
We wish for things that we're not really prepared for.
and it gets real sometimes. So I encourage that we all do that, and hopefully, not even hopefully, I know that in the next few months, or when you start to stick to that routine and you start to become disciplined and you build that habit by consistently doing it over and over, you gain the results that you're looking for, or maybe even better. The next one, this one is crazy because we're in times right now where it's like, even 2 years after this pandemic, things are still happening. Cases are still rising. New things are coming out. But the next one is being optimistic while accepting failures. And I think that can touch to like so many different things that are going on right
Right,
now.
that's kind of counterintuitive. How could you be optimistic if you're going through failures? Well, it's the beginning of the year. So people have New Year resolution. They see all the memes about gym managers counting extra cash because people register, people being optimistic about scoring, how they're gonna attend all their classes, and you're gonna blame COVID for not attending your class, but it's been around for a while now. We gotta start accepting the conditions as there is and take the deliberate actions to change those conditions for ourselves, even if it's beyond our control. But yes, being optimistic, even through dealing with failures, you need to be right. If you just let the wall or the 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 circumstance or the situation determine who you are at that very moment, then you should have never got started, right?
Mm.
In life, something is gonna come along the way that's much tougher and bigger than you, right?
Hmm.
That's much tougher. It's gonna get knocked in your mouth. I don't care who you are. Everything could be. You see, in life, we have something called unavoidable suffering. We all go through it, right? There's people that we love. You know, some people say, uh, maybe that's why they choose not to have family because they don't want to be vulnerable to being hurt from family
Hmm.
member passing away. But then they could also get ill, and then they could deal with other uh, emotional battles after being ill and not having a family member to be there for them. So you can't escape suffering in life, no matter how you look at it. That's part of life. Is unavoidable suffering. Right? It's a tough thing. I know people probably think, is this platform motivation they always talk about? But that's such is life. But we gotta look over it. We gotta overcome it. That's why we talk about being optimistic through failure. So if you started something and you went through hardship and you think this is it, you gotta have that reason why you got started. Stay motivated, stay positive, right? Be optimistic that there's a rainbow at the end of the rain. That's what we all hope to see as kids, right? When it finish raining and the rainbow comes out, it's kind of like the same thing. No matter how long the rain may last, we're optimistic, right? Stay true to what it is that you're doing and why it is that you started.
And even to bring it to sports, I like to reference the sports sometimes. Like in boxing, right? They always tell you, coach will always tell you, keep your hands up, like protect your face, right? And the minute your hands go down, that's where your opponent can come hit you in the
Yep.
face. So I encourage everyone like not to keep like have your hands up, like get these ready so that when life comes, if a hit comes, you're ready to kind of like like for instance, when this pandemic started and the emceeing thing wasn't like events weren't happening, we canceled all these shows and stuff. Boom, through me wanting to better my life, this platform was created. Now it's like I have something else to look
Yeah.
forward to, and
Other
it's like
avenues.
other avenues
Like you hear it all
created
the
through.
time. When life hands you lemons, make a lemonade stand, start selling lemon juice, like and being optimistic. Most optimistic people see opportunities in every difficult situation, and the other side of it, pessimists will often see they'll see the difficulty in every opportunity, right? So it's about being optimistic about what it is that you're going through in the difficult times, and just through failure especially, because it's so tough early. The first round you get knocked in your mouth out, your question, can you go the rest of the round, right? And some of you may feel like that January 3rd week is a tough weekend. This is Be optimistic about it. You got 11 more rounds to go, so you got punched in your face the first round. It happens. You got 11 more rounds to go, right? And it's setting up the play for a comeback. We all love a comeback story, right? Nobody wants to watch the movie at the beginning. The good guy wins, and that's it. Then it's like, why am I still watching the movie? We like the climax, so this is it. And it may get tougher, but understand there's room for improvement. There's room for you, once again, like we said earlier, to be much better than who it is that you were and what it is that you're going through.
And there's I don't know if it's a thing about life right now or if it's social media that is kind of allowing us to like I seen this post where it's like, oh, social media has now made everyone think that we can all attain all these great things without putting in the work, and nobody knows what's going on behind those pictures or behind those videos. So it's like Instagram is like this reality kind of
It's a real. Somebody
website
said
that
it's a website. It's a real. If somebody said Instagram is people's highlight reel. If you ever play sports, like you're using their sports reference, when you make the highlight reel, it's a snippet. If not you in the game, you might have got crossed. You may have cost the
that part
team a
doesn't come in.
basket. It's part of it. But when you make that highlight reel, that's what all social media is like. Present yourself in the best way possible, because life is hard as it is. So if you get a chance to do it, and it's harmful to others, right? So understand it's hard work. You cannot escape hard work, whatever it is that you're doing, right? it might may not consist of physical labor, right? Don't confuse hard work with physical labor, right? So when we talk about hard work in today's day and age, it might be coding all night in the age of the internet and technology. That's hard work. I wish I would be able to do that, but I know people that are committed their time and full effort into doing this on the clock and after the clock.
Mm. And it's as you talked about, right? Think about it. A couple of weeks ago it was Happy New Year's. Now a couple of weeks we're gonna be into February, which is gonna be the shortest
The
month.
shortest month,
And then
just keep
boom,
going.
that goes in.
Before you know it's summertime and the time is not on your side. That's part of life that keeps ticking.
And we're in the first quarter right now, so it's like when we talk about sports, before the game starts, you stretch, you do what you got to do and prepare and see what you want, and understand that there's more quarters ahead. But do the best that you can today, so that you can reap the benefits tomorrow.
Exactly.
So, I encourage everybody to don't let failure. Failures is just lessons, literally.
Yeah, this is opportunity to learn, right? Anytime you go through something that is bringing the best out of you, is a learning moment. It's a teaching moment, right? And you may be able to pass that down to your loved ones who may haven't experienced that yet, but it's a teaching moment, right? When you encounter something, and when we're younger, we feel we go to our parents, we go for answers, but eventually you hit the same wall your parents hit, where they don't have the answers for you, right? So then you got to figure it out. And it gets to a point where you got to be the answer for somebody else, your child, your sibling, even youth in the community, right? You got to have that answer. And it's through failures that we know best. Experience is kind of like the best teacher. We all heard it all before. I could talk about all the things that we talked about committing yourself and hardship and sacrifice. But until you have to make that decision, you made that sacrifice, you're going to be like, yes, Max, Motivation Monday, this is what you're talking about, It sounds good. It's much more, it depends what it is that you're going for. But if you want to be in a rare company, want some of the finer things in life that most people don't have, the commitment, the things that it takes for you to do so, you'll be amazed.
And it's it's crazy. Once you get one thing out of the way, it's kind of like a snowball effect, like this thing, you get happy, like when you start attacking your goals. And that's why we encourage everyone to have your vision board. If you haven't done one this month, get a Bristol board, or you could do it on your phone. I encourage everybody to have vision boards. And even me, this year I'm trying to do vision boards by the quarters. So every 3 months I get my first one on, third month by March I get the next one. Then 3, 6, 9, 12, take it on to the next year, so I know what I've been able to accomplish. And we see people during New Year's, everybody's doing their 2021 recap of going through what they went through every month and the highlights, to encourage them to be ready. Because sometimes you forget. Sometimes you forget. If you're a busy person or you do a lot, sometimes you can forget. And when you're able to see what you've been able to accomplish, it gives you that confidence to be like, okay, this next year that I'm in right now, 2022, I'm going at it again, and I'm going to try to exceed what I was able to do last year.
Get started. Give it, like we said before, give whatever it is you're doing the gift of your attention. Don't wait for another year, because a year from now you wish you had started today. And so many people talk about 2019. I don't want to hear COVID excuse.
Yeah,
we're past that. We're in year 2, right? Under any circumstance or condition, you got to start to adapt now. The first couple of months, some people did well with, some people not so much. But a year from now, a month from now, you're gonna wish you had started today. And even if you had a bad 2 weeks and things didn't fall into place, it's never too late. Get started. It's a cliche. It's not about how you start, but how you finish, which is I totally.
And the world is adapting to it in every way possible. Like there's things where I seen the other day that you remember the movie Toy Story, Buzz Lightyear, where he would fly, like he had this thing where he could just fly. I seen the other day that this YouTube star, he was able to got on like a jetpack, feel over the ocean, over the water. And I'm watching this thing and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Look at technology changing right in front of our eyes. Something that I used to watch as a movie, now it's becoming real life. And the people who are behind it, although it costs lots of millions, they're looking to change the way the health field is. So like ambulance people, first aid workers can just get straight on site to somewhere while beating traffic. And I'm like, yo, the world is really changing in front of our eyes in every way. So
technology is not against us, it's with us. It's only if used properly and understood, that it can help us in so many ways. So things like that, to hear about what people are using with technology.
Even with TikTok and Reels, bro, I'm looking at everything and I'm like, damn, you gotta just be up to the time. And it's okay if you don't know. Ask. Don't be
Ask, get the
afraid to
information.
ask,
Hire young people. They're so smart with those things, man.
bro.
You know, it's
Different times we're in right now.
creativity. Wow.
And you know, we all got family members or siblings. You'll be surprised. And that's why I always encourage people with their family members or siblings. Like I know sometimes troubles come our way, and you know if it's your family, one thing that I've learned about 2021 and seeing like from the music aspect, from even seeing Drake and Kanye West come back together where they had like feud. I'm like, yo, if you've had issues out there, you can get them solved. Like you know, it all starts. Sometimes you got to be the bigger person, or you're waiting. It's very important because you don't know what you could be missing out. Some of our people, as we get into the new year and years to come, you know, you don't want to have made a decision that can be costly to somebody you loved or that you're related to. And we understand sometimes situations happen that can't be fixed or whatever. But I encourage everybody, if you can, try to do it because we're more stronger when we're together.
Yep. By the power of two is much difficult to move a car than it is to move one person. You know,
Now,
when you hear us, you're capable of doing.
now talking about what may be going on in the world right now, I don't want to talk too much about it, but our last topic is 7 tips to detox your mind and feel more at peace. So we're gonna break down what they are, and then we will get right into speaking about each topic and why it's so important.
Let's go. Let's go ahead and drop our
Affirmation of the day.
affirmation of the day.
All right,
Yes,
bet,
sir.
let's do that. Perfect timing too. Good, good. You know, it's a teamwork. Today this one is gonna be real good. Today I align myself with freedom, growth, and joy. I'm fulfilling my purpose in the world. I give myself permission to go after what I want.
Freedom and joy, permission to go after what I want. That's freedom and joy. There's nothing like it. Can we hear that again, brother?
So once again, today I align myself with freedom, growth, and joy. I am fulfilling my purpose in the world. I give myself permission to go after what I want.
Giving yourself permission to go after what you gotta free your mind, like we talk about. Start with freeing your mind. Be happy for the little that you do have and understand there's more yet to come and permission to go after what it is that you feel like you deserve.
And you know, once you put that out there and you realize like, and that's why those vision boards and things are important, that you're kind of aligning with the universe to work in your favor. That's what these things do. When we talked about last episode with writing notes down, it's only to help you out.
Yep.
You know, I'm only speaking on it because I wish I had somebody that came on every Monday that could remind me, yo, do this, do that, and you can see the results from it. So we encourage you guys, and you know, we speak about these affirmations all the time because it's so great. It helps us with our it helps us achieve a positive mindset to
Yep.
attack our goals and whatever that we are looking for in this world. And you know, it's so much happening right now. It's easy to lose sight of all the good things in the world,
Yep, it is. That's true.
and that's why it's so important to detox your mind. Sometimes it's easy. That's why we always talk about taking breaks and not overdoing it, but understand that we're humans, and to find that inner peace, because there's no point with you keeping that stuff all in, and then because it eventually could just blow up and it could be too much. So you know, we talked about we're living in a time right now where things have changed drastically, where we're in like a new era of things. So these things can really help. And the only thing that we have that is the only thing that we have that is certainty is that, you know, we can be our better selves. Like literally, you no matter what situation you're in right now, you can change it for the better.
Yep.
And then even if you feel like you're in a better situation, you can be better than that
Yep.
situation. And you know, you always talk about where it's like there's always more. There's always more.
There's always more of you. There's more of you inside you than you even know it. I don't think human beings ever reach their full capability at all. At all. You know it. I don't care if you're at the top of your field and you have your PhD. I still believe that as humans, there's more in us than we're even capable of imagining.
So these are the 7 tips to detox your mind and keep you at peace while going through whatever it is you're going through at with like first one is meditation. You know, silence and stillness around you and within can make you analyze and see life from a different aspect. And you know, it gives you answers that you're looking for outside of yourself, literally where you get to talk to your mind and grasp about, okay, what do I want out of it? And that's why they always say it's so important to do it like while you wake up, like,
Yeah, in
set
the
some
theta stage. Yep.
time for yourself, and you can achieve more by doing that. How do you feel like meditation can help us towards just getting crushing our goals and understanding who we are, our true self, and like we talk about understanding self
hmm
purpose?
The world is moving so fast. You gotta learn to slow it down, right? Being at
Mm.
one center of yourself, one of your peace. You know, I try meditation like when you're really into it and you just in a deep relaxation phase. Everything is just so much clearer, right? In the morning, I mean, they say going to bed and when you first wake up is when your brain is most impressionable, and I think that's what meditation does to us. So it's like when when I could get into that zone to allow my brain to observe the most I'm capable of doing, it's only going to be a positive. Like I just said, we're not even using half our potential. I don't think we're using 10% of our potential.
Hmm.
Then I hear say like human being and not losing like 90 high 90 something percent of their brain capacity, and I was like, no, really fascinating. So if meditation could help us solve some of these things and slow the world as fast as it's going down to our benefit, then why not?
Hmm. And I mean, if you haven't tried it, I encourage you to do so. There's different aspects, whether it becomes like, yoga. A lot of people use yoga for meditation to ease their
Mindfulness,
mind.
yoga, relaxation, like all kind of therapeutic ways to go through meditation.
Even
I was quick story. I went through meditation once and I actually ended up falling asleep. It was so relaxing.
gonna be a
Yeah,
massages.
it was just like some deep. And I was like, we were sitting on the carpet and I fell asleep and I woke up and like, this is the best rest I had. And it was like literally like in a matter of 20, 30 minutes. They're like, you've slept. I'm like, oh, wow. Guess I had
Mine
to
was at
sleep.
ease.
Yeah, mine was at ease. Peace.
Now, the second one to help detox the mind is chores. We talked about, you remember we always talk about like when you get up with your bed being laid, if it's not laid, if your things
The
are
first
messy,
step. Yeah.
that's how your day will kind of go. So, a lot of people don't they kind of dislike doing some of the chores, whether it's sweeping, cleaning, and we don't encourage that because you want to, it's like it's like an effect that like where we
And
talked
affect
about
your
like.
day. Start your day with power and intention, and you finish your day with a meaningful purpose, right? So if you start your day with checking something on the task board, like you're already on the winning side of things, right? You're already on the winning side of things.
And everybody, I tell you, like if this table was messy right now, we wouldn't have started this podcast. We'll make sure we'll
Yeah.
clean it or start this
Shout out
episode.
Jordan Peterson, say clean your room, right? Before you go on and take on the big obstacle in life to deal with your coworkers. Yes, excuse me for my language, or the person on the road who is driving every kind of worst way as possible. But start with your day, win the battle with yourself. Wake up, do your bed. It's a check for yourself that you're already in the winning column. And throughout the day, try to stack up that winning column.
The next one is ego, and this one is this one is funny because ego can be a great thing, or it can kind of mess you up a little bit, where when you let your ego get the best of you.
Yeah, it's a great quote. I said it says ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. Like, say that again. Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. And we all have egos. That how much do we suppress it? When does it show its ugly head? When things are going right for us, especially when money is involved, we start to see the ugly side of our nature more than
Hmm.
anything, where we humility is no longer there, and we start being a tyrant to society, where we praise the world as our feet as being on. So we have some type of ego, but like I said, ego is the anesthesia that is the pain of stupidity.
And with this one, they encourage us to become friends with our mind, because
Mm-hmm.
when we become friends with the ego, and we start to work out with the mind, we become friends with ourselves, and only that is when you know your strengths and your weaknesses. And if you're a friend to yourself, you're gonna do what's better. Like it's like when you have a friend that you care about, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna tell them what's best for them.
Yeah.
So when you become a friend with your mind and that ego, you're gonna try to do, like, you can talk to yourself, even if you've been put in a situation where you were at the wrong. You can talk to yourself to be like, okay, I'll accept that I was in the wrong. I'll probably make the next steps to apologize or to fix the situation and become the bigger person to be like, you know what? I know I made a mistake. My apology, and not just to say it because his actions speak louder than words, but through your actions, people make, okay, I know that you meant that apology.
Yeah, and you know, there's a thing about ego being the dark side, but understand that we're constantly working on the positive side of our nature and doing our best to suppress our dark side. You know, which won't allow us to be all that we can be. That we talk about, we constantly could be more than what you are. That's why you got to be a student of life. You're not always correct, and ego is one of those things that plays a role into it. With the whole fact of I know it all, I know what I'm doing. You know, like I just said, you got to constantly develop the positive side of your nature while suppressing your dark side. Allow yourself to enjoy life, take on all the experiences, even if things are going well for you. So that's what I gotta say about ego. Be friends with it, right? Be friends with it.
And the next big one is focus. You know, it could be from focusing on your health, focusing on your goals, focus on being the better version of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like when you scramble, you know, you ever make eggs and you're making scrambled eggs, it's all over the place. It's scrambled when you're mixing
Mm-hmm.
it up and you put the whatever you're using to cook it in
Spatula.
the spatula. Like everything is all over the stuff. But when
Mm-hmm.
you make that, you know, I like to make egg whites and stuff. But when you make that egg white and it's just there flat, everything looks calm and smooth. So it's important for us to focus down on whatever it is we want in their life. And they say once you start to focus, that will help ease your mind. Usually people who are all over the place or have so many things going on,
Easily
they
distracted. You're adding more fuel to the fire, right? Things are already as chaotic as it is. You're trying to figure things out and you lack focus, then you lack a sense of direction, right? So don't focus too much on mistakes, focus on positivity. Start saying to yourself next time, and you actually gotta mean that when you say it next time, right? So focus works on your mindfulness and be able to help you as the world is already as chaotic as it is.
what's crazy, there was a point where it said exercise working out is the best way to connect with yourself.
Yep.
And like that's when you get to understand who you are. You understand, okay, am I a morning person, night person?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want to do these things up. And if you're not doing it, you won't really see it. And this is something that like that has been researched about. And I encourage everybody to, you know, you want to connect with yourself in different aspects of not the world, like, you know, running on your time where it's like you've made time for something that can add value to you by you just like, you know, talking to yourself or through working out, you'll be able to understand yourself. So I encourage everybody to focus. And there may be people who it's hard for them to focus. You
Yep.
know, what advice would we give to the people who, hey, it's just
One thing at a time, right? Give it a gift of your attention. It's difficult, small increments, like you know what I mean. So it's like, and also take breaks, right?
mm,
That's what I realized about focus. Did like even I myself, like even studying, like people be like, I'm doing 6 hours of studying. No, I'm not. I'm gonna be real, like you know what I mean. It's in gaps. Like you
okay.
need that break, right? I may give something the full attention, maybe 20, 30 minutes, and I need that break. I need to be distracted because then eventually my brain will start to loop and go and overload it where I'm not observing no information. Or so it's like one step at a time, right? Break things down, know yourself, give yourself room for mistakes, one step at a time, uh, and a long extended period of time so you could actually gather all the information you need to gather in what it is that you're focusing on.
And you know, it's one of those things where after time passes by and you realize you focus on something, a task, a goal, and you get that done, you then understand like, oh my goodness, this is why it's so important.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like I remember the when I got my first credit card and I sent you a message, I was like, yo, bro, I was so excited, happy. Then when I stayed and focused on making sure I didn't spend more than 30%, I paid my stuff on time. When they gave me
Increase?
the increase, I was like, oh my goodness,
You
bro,
ever
with me
notice?
focusing because it started from me finding out where my credit was, what I had to go get done, and then you know from that step was the next. Then I applied and I got it, and it was just like I'm like, holy yo, I gotta just lock in. When you lock into something
Mm-hmm.
and you really set your mind to do something, there's more that's gonna come out of it.
And that's the thing we talk about often, not worrying about the outcome or the your result, but rather just doing the little things. Eventually, it will come in itself if you do it. But people start doing things. Hey, this hasn't come yet, and why haven't I seen this yet? And this that. You know, just that's not. If that's all you're focusing on, chances are you're doing the wrong thing, right? It's difficult to hit a target that you're not looking at. Right, there's a target in front of you, and you're overlooking it, seeing the other target. There's levels, there's stages, right? You might have to knock down this target to keep working towards that, and eventually, as you get better and better, when you reach your final destination, your final target, it feels like a breeze, like you didn't even know how you get there. So, like I said, it's difficult for you to hit hit a target that you're not looking at and you're distracted looking at elsewhere.
And I mean, I that's why I love what we do with Motivation Monday because it's a week. I tell you, Monday's helping me out so much.
Yeah.
Like I tell you, this platform and people be like, "Yo, it's been helping me." But it's helping me. It's
Hmm.
literally helping me. And as I get older now, I'm even accepting some of the stuff that I did when I was younger that I didn't know, and I'm like, it's okay. It's
Next
okay.
time.
It's okay.
Don't focus too much on your mistake. Focus on the positivity and say to yourself, next time. Now you know that, now you know better. And you may not have it next time of going back to 16, 17-year-old, 18-year-old, but you could pass it on to your younger generation. That's what we always talk about. Leave the world a better place than you found it.
And then what's crazy is once you actually get these things done, you're not even worried about it no more.
No,
It's on to the next.
it's on to the
Now I
next.
understand how this credit thing. I'm not even worried about that. I'm more about okay, how can I leverage now that I know I got this? How can I leverage? I remember when you always used to speak about OPM, other people's money.
Other
Now it's
people's
like,
money.
bro, the banks are literally if you do what you
That's
got to
it.
do,
If you do,
you can leverage off of making these decisions that will only help better your life.
yeah.
So we encourage everybody to focus. It's everything. No matter what you're doing, focus. I always find it cool when I'm at basketball games or watching these guys play and they're making all types of noise, saying um, all these things, and they're still hitting the shots. I remember one player, he had a situation with like somebody had a child and they kept screaming her name, and he hit both shots on the Charlotte Hornets, and it was funny because everyone thought it would distract him,
Mhm.
but he's probably practiced
Laser
those free
focus.
throws.
That's
You know what I
mental
mean?
block. Those people that are able to go within themselves and block out all the external distractions, and they're like laser scary people. You could do everything it is that they want,
Now the next
and
one
we are
is
capable of doing such.
a big one because remember we were in Ghana a month ago, a couple weeks, and gratitude, giving gratitude for what you have is indeed powerful. Like sometimes you don't realize somebody's across the world would trade places with you, would die to trade places with you.
Hmm.
So it's important for us to to practice gratitude within ourselves, whatever we have going on, and not like we talked about earlier, comparison as Stephen Joy. Just we're trying to be better, 1% better than we were yesterday, right?
You know, that's what we talk about gratitude. Gratitude is not for every now and then and for every single day, right? It's not for when things go uh, drastically well, like waiting for the lottery or your paycheck or extra. It's for every single day. For the 2 eyes, be thankful for the 2 eyes that you're able to watch this video, your ears that you're able to just listen or even just speak. A lot of people don't have that, right? So much people, the little that you're not even aware of, or people are on their last dying breath wishing just one more minute, right? One more minute, one more chance in life to be grateful for everything that we're grateful for. So gratitude is not for every now and then, for every single day. If there's nothing for you to be grateful for, nothing, you look around and just check your pulse. Like,
Hmm.
and that's something to be grateful for. When you start being grateful and showing gratitude to the world for the little that you do have, abundance, more will start to fall your way.
You
More will
know,
start to fall your way.
someone may say though, like, how can I be grateful when all these things aren't going where it's supposed to go? Like, I know we're 3 weeks into the new year, and a lot of people had plans and things, and,
Mhm.
and I know not everything goes the way you want it to go, right? So how can we deter everybody to be like, all right, cool. There's still more weeks left in January. There's
There's
still more
it's
days left.
52 weeks left, and we're 3 weeks done. We're still down 49, right? Be grateful that you actually got to be here for those 3 weeks, good or bad, no matter how bad it got. Like I said earlier, you're capable of always doing more, good or bad. People that had the best 3 weeks of your life, that's not the best. You could get better than that. Don't settle. Don't settle. Right? Don't settle. This is not me. I'm not grateful. Right? The best position to be in life is to be grateful for what you have, while you are in pursuit for more that you want for yourself.
Mm.
That's the space you want to be in, because there's more in this world out there for you. So for people who may feel like, oh, what could I do, and it hasn't been tough, just be grateful for the little that you do have. Like the 3 weeks got to be, so many people were expecting to walk into to 2022, and it's sad to say they're not here, right? Right? It's sad to say they're not here. So show show gratitude for what you have, the little that you do have. Just the opportunity. You have opportunities to change the direction of your life. You may not be able to change destination overnight, but you can change direction right now while you're watching this video.
And it's one of those things where being thankful goes a long way. You'll be surprised. You'll be super. So, have you ever been? Um, You ever open a door for somebody or do something for somebody and they don't say thank you, or they don't like, hey, I open the door for you and you don't say thank you. You realize how pissed somebody will get, where it's like they wish they could just slam the door. I've been in
Yeah.
a mall where I've seen somebody open the door and say that, and then they'll make their hands or do something. But you'll be surprised when you actually do. Like, I find myself when I've seen people struggling, like at the grocery store or something, where a
Hmm.
cart is, and I ran to get to the cart, and they're so shocked that I was there to help them, or like, somebody's on the side of the road. I'm pretty sure there's so many people who've been through scenarios where like a guardian angel came to save you in some kind of way when you were going through some trials, how happy you were. So
Hmm.
being thankful can go a long way, and I encourage people. We talk about all the time, don't be doing something looking for something in return,
In
right? So
return,
it's
give to give, don't give to receive, right?
it's one of those things. The sixth one is volunteering. People don't understand, and I realize a lot of people who volunteer are they're at peace. Like their mind is at peace, because we're in such in a society where everybody wants to trade their time for money,
Hmm.
and that they forget that there's can be some joy with you
If you're
volunteer.
able to volunteer your time, you're in a great space in
That's
life, right?
exactly.
Right? Because people are scrambling for time, trying to make money out of their time, but you're able to volunteer your labor, your gift, your time, whatever it is, right? So it tells me right away you're in a great space. Like you're in a great space mentally, because we're also consumed with needing this and working and needing to go here. So we never take that chance and the opportunity to get back to what it is that we care and want to contribute to. So automatically when I see people volunteer, I know they're in a great space. Not those people who are it's mandatory for them for whatever reason, which we
We've
all
been
went
there.
through.
We've been there.
We all went through high school, 40 hours of volunteer hours. You know what I mean? It was great when the coach made us do the scoreboard. Actually doing something that was meaningful or fun, but it says a lot about a person who's scrambling to figure things out that they're still able to volunteer their time.
And that was a good example right there. I was even thinking about the bad times where I had to do some volunteer hours and for other stuff where it's like I
I've
haven't.
been through there, brother.
So I'm like, oh, thank God those days are over.
I've been through there.
The last one though, is acknowledge your emotions. Sometimes when it comes to emotions, you can be right, you can be wrong. It's something that literally exists, and sometimes it's crazy because people can let the emotions get the best of them.
Human beings are emotional, but we cannot make those emotions use us. Okay? And embrace your emotion, right? Acknowledge how you feel. That's what it talks about. Acknowledge if you're angry, well, you're angry, but don't let it lead you to a place that you know you do not want to be when you no longer feel that way.
Mm.
Right? So if it's you through anger, watch what you say because you may not feel that way. And even if you feel that this is what you need to say to overcome your anger, even after feel better, just dissect it. Let times pass. Let time pass. If you're sad, be sad. Cry. Live through it. Right? Welcome all the experiences, part of life, but acknowledge your emotions. Be aware of them, but don't let your emotions lead you astray. Don't let your emotions make life hard enough as it is already.
And not one thing that I've learned over time is like, think, or I gotta think before I speak. Like, if a situation happens, because I don't want a situation to happen, and I just start. I remember things would happen, and I'll just have something to say quick, and understand that once these words come out of your mouth, you can't take those words back, even if you're sorry for what you said. So you got to be very, very, very understanding. And there's people who like to push people's buttons. We understand. People who like to push.
Misrealize companies, people trying to get under your skin, trying to, make it where it hurts. So it's like, you gotta acknowledge your emotions, you gotta put it intact. Don't let your emotions use you. Use your emotions, but don't let your emotions use you.
And you know what's crazy? I always tell people that the world still goes on, right? So
Hmm.
that's why it has to be
With or without you.
with or without you. So you got to be very, very mindful and careful, and understand that. I always whenever I see these videos go online and people are bashing somebody because customer service and all these work, I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, and but I understand some people sometimes have a bad day, and that just adds to it. And but you got to think of other people as human beings. We're all human beings. Nobody's different than you. It doesn't matter the job they have, or they always have that phrase that the customer is always right, so people can take advantage of those situations. But it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's relationship, whether it's school, whether it's at the job. Let's learn to control our emotions and help it ease our minds at times when it comes to certain things, and allow forgiveness. Forgiveness is one big thing as well too. you got to learn to forgive. Doesn't mean you got to forget, but you can learn to forgive, and so that it doesn't mean that if you forgive somebody, it doesn't mean you got to be the same way you were with that person. You can learn from that mistake, but as long as you can stay true to yourself in that feeling to turn it into a positive situation, because two wrongs don't make a right. So I encourage everybody to do that, and it's so important. As we're here talking about, these were 7 tips to detox your mind and keep you at ease. I mean, like with everything going on, and as we prepared, the first month is almost coming down, and we're weeks into 2022. I think it's only right that we talk about these things and put it out there so that somebody can hear this and remember that we're here. And that's a good thing that I love about this platform, about understanding self, purpose, passion.
Passion, finances,
all
all go
plays
hand in hand.
role into our lives and to society. So I encourage everybody to to share this out if you liked what you heard today, from the affirmation to everything we talked about from the beginning. These are things that are very, very important, and it's so important for us to detox our mind and find that inner peace, because I feel like at that moment, then you can become your better self in whatever it is you're looking to attain or achieve from this beautiful thing that we call life. We can't take for granted, because like we always talk about, tomorrow's not promised. So we gotta live we gotta live for today. We gotta make sure we do what we gotta do to set up for tomorrow. So that wraps up this week's episode. And once again, if you're just joining us, just caught us at the end, or if you're listening to on any streaming platform, make sure if it's Spotify, follow us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. If it's YouTube, click the like button, comment. We want to hear some feedback. When we post some of the snippets on social media, on Instagram, our Facebook pages, feel free to interact and let us know. And our DMs are always open and things for feedback, and even if there's topic or things, I've seen a couple people who've reached out. We have the email as well, so make sure you do that. And as we get prepared for our next episode and stuff, but this is a great topic. I enjoyed talking about these things that are very, very important when it comes to motivation to keep us grounded. Don't count the days, make the days count. Being optimistic while accepting failures, and 7 tips to detox your mind and feel more at peace. I mean, I feel like when you can conquer these things and understand these stuff and make it a discipline and something that you can continuously do in your life, sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate the love and support. Subscribe. Tune in each and every Monday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Eastern Time. Appreciate it. Your boy Max, the speaker.
Well, MC Ebon, we're out week 91, episode 15.
See you guys next week. Thank you.